We spend our lives in search of the other half.
I think something's happening to us.
So Together is a new romantic body horror film. I didn't know that those two genres could go together, but I believe that they can now after seeing this. I don't want to give too much away, but I feel like if you've seen the trailers, you get the general premise. But essentially, Alison Brie and Dave Franco play a couple that have been together for quite some time. They move to a new area, go on a hike together, and discover a cave where strange things happen after they spend the night there. And I think that you can get from the trailers or from the title of the movie or the posters of the movie that something is drawing them together in the most disturbing way you could possibly interpret that. Body horror movies do get under my skin sometimes, and I think it's because of the helplessness of it. Like, whenever you're messing with something, like even surgeries to a degree, make me kind of uncomfortable at times. So whenever you're twisting and contorting and cutting and, reshaping the human form in any way, it always gives me, the shivers down my spine. And I think this is one of those movies that captures that well. Although I do have a couple little issues with the movie, but overall, I can say that I think this was incredibly well done. This is an extremely well-made movie. I'm not sure who the director is, Michael Shanks. I don't know what he's made before this one, but if this is a testament to any film to come that he's going to make, I can't wait to see more. I think one of the best things about this movie is the performances between Dave Franco and Alison Brie, is that they really do feel like a couple that's been together for a long time, and they do deeply love each other, but the spark is kind of fizzling out. And that's a trope that you see in so many different movies, and it gets so overdone of like this couple that's been together so long and now they're agitating each other, or they're getting on each other's nerves and they're arguing and yada yada yada. It can be done well, and this is an example of that, but I think that it's overdone so much because you want to see characters that actually give a shit about each other, and these characters do. And I think they play it in a very subtle way that feels very normal, very regular, very human. And that's the biggest testament I can give to this movie, is that I bought into their relationship because it felt real. Their connection felt real. Their history, their body language, the subtleties of people that have been couples for a long time and how they kind of just communicate with a look or a gesture or a sleight of hand or something. Like, they understand and pick up on each other's little nuances in their conversations. And all of that is done really, really well here. And they don't dislike each other. Like, they don't hate each other at all. They still do really, really love each other. I think it's just a matter of where they are in their lives at this point in time, because Dave Franco's character is kind of depicted as this guy that's in his mid-30s and hasn't really been able to achieve his artistic dream, which I certainly don't relate to at all, but he's still working really hard towards it. And I bought into that, and I understood that, and I related to that in whatever way. Alison Brie's character is kind of starting a new job somewhere else, and they've both just went on a move. And whenever you move to a new location, that is sort of the strange adjustment of getting used to the location, getting used to the newness of it all. They're kind of on the verge of getting engaged. They've been together for a really long time. So there's all of this kind of going in with their relationship, but I think the chemistry between them is so good. Even when they go on their little hike together in the beginning of the movie, the thing that gets the ball rolling, that gets the premise of the film started when they enter the cave, they rely on one another. You can tell they've been on lots of walks together, lots of hikes together. Things are very mundane, but when situations get dangerous, they really do care for each other. They really are trying to help each other. And then spending the night in the cave together, it is kind of this comfort to it that you maybe wouldn't have if you were by yourself. You'd just be, freaked out and scared, and you'd want to get out as soon as possible. But since they know each other so well, there is kind of this comfort of, we can stay here for a while. We can wait for the rain to stop. Like, it's not a big deal. And I liked and appreciated little moments like that. Now, like I said, I do think it's best to go into this movie as blind as possible. I tried not to look up anything, but what the trailers and posters suggest is exactly what the movie is. They stumble upon something that is drawing them together, basically in a biological kind of way, where they can't even be apart from one another without feeling uncomfortable and awkward, almost like you're having withdrawal symptoms. They're drawn to each other like magnets. It's almost like to a sickening degree where they become a part of you. And even though they're two separate beings, it's almost as if you took a piece of yourself out and you just can't figure out how to function without them. Just massive codependency, but on like a, neurological, biological level where I have to be near you 24/7. And at first it's cute, it's romantic, but then it starts to get weird and uncomfortable. And this is in the midst of them already beginning to have some rocky issues within their relationship, and things just get stranger and stranger. And I like the way that the movie builds. I think it has a good pace to it. I think it has good suspense. But when it comes to the true horror stuff, it does not disappoint. However, I do have a couple of little gripes that are kind of more spoilerish stuff, so I'll wait to the end of the video to talk about it. But I will say that there is a blend of practical and CGI effects going on here, and every time it was practical, it looked amazing. Sometimes with the CGI, it didn't look great. However, there are other times with the CGI, I think when the effect was a little bit more subtle, that it worked really well for me and was just as disturbing as I wanted it to be. And through the course of their journey in this movie of kind of discovering what's happening to them, it's interesting to see the ebb and flow of their relationship, how it makes them uncomfortable of one another, but still they have to be together no matter what. And then also, as they really discover what's going on, it sort of helps their relationship in a way, not that they're accepting this thing that's happening, but in a way of trying to think of what we can do to stop it. Like, how do you stop something that is wanting you to be this close to each other at all times, and it's the only time you feel sane, it's the only time you feel comfortable, but you know that the longer you allow this to happen, things are gonna start getting twisted, like literally. And so it's like they have to figure out a way to work together, to understand each other, and be able to try to stop whatever this is that's happening to them, to the point where their bodies are literally like forcibly being drawn to one another without their consent whatsoever. And they do a lot of fun gags with this in the movie. There are some that are a little bit comical, kind of dark comedy. One scene in particular that takes place in a bathroom stall. There's a shot that I didn't think they would show that they showed, and I laughed my ass off. Like, it's played, at least I hope it's played as a darkly comedic moment, or maybe I just have a twisted mind. I don't know. But that scene made me laugh a lot. And there's also scenes with like one of the things to kind of calm, and this is minor spoiler, but one of the things to kind of subdue what's happening is James Franco's character starts taking muscle relaxers. And there's a scene where like shit is happening, and so in desperation to try to slow it down and stop it, they start like smashing these muscle relaxers and just snorting them off the floor. And it's like, good God, like some of the scenes in this movie are so wacky, but in a great way. And there is a point later on in the third act of this movie that I won't say anything about, but it does get very disturbing. And it's what I kind of wanted to see out of this movie, and it's what I kind of wanted more of. The tension was so high. The imagery on the screen was disgusting and disturbing and practical and real. And, I was with both characters. I felt for both of them. I had empathy for both of them. I was scared for both of them. Everything during this third act sequence worked for me. And that was probably my favorite moment of the movie. But I will say my one gripe is that with that, I wanted them to take it further. Like I said, it's really hard to talk about without going into spoilers, but I just wanted to see more of what they were giving me in the third act. But the third act was great. I'd say if there's anything I straight up don't like about the movie, it's literally like the last 30 seconds. The final scene, the final moment, I didn't really care for it. I wish they went in a different direction for that. But again, that's spoiler stuff, so I can't really give too much of that away. But literally, other than the last 30 seconds, I enjoyed this movie all the way through. I don't think it's a masterpiece or anything like that. I don't know if it'll make my top 10 of the year or anything, but I was engaged. I was very involved with these characters. I think the performances are good. It's well acted, well crafted, well directed, interesting, different premise. I definitely enjoyed it. I think it delivers on the premise, and I think it gives you everything that you would expect it would give you going in knowing what you know about the movie. And if you know nothing about it, it'll probably give you a lot more. Also, speaking of body horror, the opening scene of this movie definitely is an homage to The Thing. It involves a dog. That's all I'm going to say. But there's no way that was not a reference to The Thing. Anyways, I would recommend it if you're a horror fan, if you're looking for a horror movie to watch this weekend. It was one that I was excited to see. Next week, I'm excited to see Weapons. That one is really, really intriguing me, so I'll give you guys a review for that. So let me know what you guys think down below. Thanks as always for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Give it a like, comment, subscribe if you want to. I'll talk to you next time.